Hello, welcome to my video where I'm going to show you how to draw the layout for the handle parts of your tray. This diagram should be available to you on Schoology. You can use this as a guide to know how to draw this out on this piece of wood that you'll cut. It needs to be 5 inches long by 2 inches wide, and then the thickness doesn't really matter. It should be about 3/4 of an inch thick. So I'm going to start out here by drawing these lines right here on the wood. You can see this is an exact scale drawing of what's going to go on the wood. And each of these is 1 1/4 inch wide. So I'm going to make sure I have a nice sharp pencil. I'm going to have one of these tri-squares from the tool rack, and then you'll also need a nice compass to draw these arcs on the top. So 1 1/4 inches, you can draw it from either side. I'm going to draw it from this side. I'm going to count 1 inch and 1/4. I'm going to put a mark right there. Then I'm going to count over 1 more inch and 1 more quarter, which is at 2 1/2. Then I'll count over another 1 1/4 inches, which is at 3 3/4, and then it should be another 1 1/4 inches to the end. All right, so that is these lines here. So in order to draw those up, I'm going to use my square. I'm going to put the bottom of the square flat against the bottom here. I'm going to turn this so it's a little easier to draw. Make sure that it's right on that mark. I'm going to draw that line all the way through. I'm going to do the same on this one. Make sure that I'm drawing square to the bottom, or perpendicular. Flip that around so I have something for the square to touch on that side. All right. So those are those 3 lines right here. The ends are those lines. All right. I drew them longer than they need to be. That's okay. All right, so the next step is to find the center of these circles, which is also the center of these arcs. And I'm going to find first where 1 3/8 is from the bottom here. So this is the bottom there. I'm going to measure up 1 3/8. It's going to be somewhere around there. I actually just need to mark it. Anywhere on here will work. So I'll do right here. That is 1 inch, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8 is right here. Yeah. So it's not centered yet, but I just want to know where that location is going to be from the bottom. So now I'm going to actually draw this as a guideline all the way across here, kind of light. So I know that the center of the circles are going to be somewhere on this line. Now I just need to know how far away from the edge it is. It's 5/8 of an inch from the edge. So put this back on here, flip this around so I can measure from 0. Mark that at the end, and I'm going to count over 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. And that's my spot right there. And you can look at it. I'll darken this in so you can see it where that intersect. Does it look centered from the edge to this line between here and here? Yes. So I'm going to do that same thing on the next one. From this line, I'm going to count over 5/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. That's my center. Same from this line. 1/8, 2/8, 3, 4, 5. That is that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's that one. So each of these is the center of each of these arcs. Now the next step requires that I draw some curves on here, and I'm going to need a compass to do that. And the radius of the curve is this amount here, which is 5/8, which is that. So you won't have the drawing to check that measurement. So you're going to have to use a ruler. You're going to do it anywhere. You just have to count the 1/8 inches, and on this side these are all 1/8. So I just want to set my compass. I'm going to zoom in on this. You can see better. Just want to set my compass exactly 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So now I can draw those arcs. Take the pointy end, stick it in where that center was, and spin around. If it goes off the edge, that's okay. You're going to end up cutting this on the scroll saw or the band saw, whichever one's set up. And you'll be able to sand that to a nice curve. All right. Now you don't have to do this step, but if you want to, you can. These are where the holes where the round dowels will go through, where the handles actually are. And it's kind of hard to set your compass that small, but if you want to, you can do it. It's 1/4 of an inch and is the radius, which is a 1/2 inch around, and you can kind of see where that is. But when you center this on the drill press to cut those out, you'll just center it on the same center where I'm stabbing the pointy part of my compass in. I just like compasses, so it's kind of fun to draw these circles. All right. Well, there it is. There it is all laid out. Now it's ready to be taken over to the saw, where you're going to cut out the arcs first. Actually, back up. You're going to cut the holes first, then you're going to cut the arcs, and then you're going to cut the lines.